and welcome to the second part of this video series. In this video, we'll be talking about Google Sheets, a free spreadsheet program included in the Google Suite. One of the main features of this program is the ability to create and collaborate on online spreadsheets in real time and from any device. We'll be delving into more of its features as the video goes along. But first, let's start with the basics. You can create new Google Sheets from your Drive folder by clicking on the blue New button. When you create a new Google Sheet, it will be created in your main Drive folder or your root folder. Here, you can drag it to a different folder if you wish to keep things organized. Do this by clicking and holding the file and dragging to where you want it to go. You can also import a spreadsheet in different file formats. To do this, open a spreadsheet in Google Sheets. At the top, click File and then Import. Choose a non-password protected file and select an import option. Not all file types have all 6 options. From top to bottom, the options are Create New Spreadsheet, which would create a spreadsheet from the imported data in the New Browser tab. Insert New Sheets, which adds new sheets with the imported data to your existing spreadsheet. Replace Spreadsheet, which would replace the open spreadsheet with the data in your imported file. Replace Current Sheet, which would replace the current sheet's contents with the imported data. Append rows to current sheet, which would add the imported data to the current sheet after the last row within the data. And finally, replace data starting at selected cell, which would replace the data in the range of selected cells with the important data. Now, before we start inputting our data into the spreadsheet, here are a few tips to make our work more efficient. Starred files are simply files that you want to sort and have available simply by clicking on the Starred option in Google Drive. To star a spreadsheet, simply press on the star icon beside its name. Any file that you have marked with a star will then appear in the Drive window. I like to use the star for files that I use regularly and want to find quickly and easily. Also, starred files can be placed in folders. You may also move a spreadsheet you are working on directly into your Google Drive. To do this, press the folder icon next to the star and choose a folder you would like to move your spreadsheet in. If you want to add more sheets to your spreadsheet, click the big plus button in the bottom left of your Google Sheet to add a new sheet. The button with the 3 bars next to the plus is your index button, listing all of the tabs in your Google Sheet. This is super useful when you start having a lot of different tabs to manage. To rename a sheet or delete a sheet, click the small arrow next to the name to bring up the menu. Here, you'll see the option to rename, to delete, or even hide sheets. Rows, columns, and cells are fundamental elements to every spreadsheet. Let's quickly go over what they are. The main window consists of a grid of cells. An individual cell is a single rectangle at the intersection of one column and one row, and it will hold a single piece of data. Columns are vertical ranges of cells, labeled by letters running across the top of the sheet. Rows are horizontal ranges of cells, labeled by numbers running down the left side of your sheet. And finally, cells are the intersections between these rows and columns. Now, if you want to select a cell, simply click on it and enter your data. Once you're done inputting, you can press Tab to move through the rows, or you can press Enter to move through the column. To select an entire row, you need to click on the number of the row you want to select. This will highlight the whole row or column blue to indicate that you have it selected. To select an entire column, click on the letter corresponding to the column you want to select. To change the width of a column or height of a row, hover your cursor over the gray line denoting the edge of the column or row until your cursor changes to look like this. Then click and drag the cursor left or right to change the width of this column. It's the same process to change the height of rows. To quickly change the column width to fill your cell contents, double-click when you're hovered over the gray line. To insert additional columns or rows, Click on the existing column or row next to where you'd like to insert a new column or row. With the column or row selected, right-click to bring up the Options menu. Then select Insert Before or Insert After for columns, or Insert Above or Insert Below for rows. If you want to add more than one column, there's a trick to do it in one go. As an example, say you wanted to add 3 new columns to the right side of your sheet. Begin by highlighting the last 3 columns that are there already. Then, right-clicking and choosing to insert new columns. It will then insert 3 new columns for you. To hide rows or columns, click a row or column to highlight it. To highlight multiple rows or columns, press and hold the Command key on your keyboard and click the rows or columns you want to highlight. Right-click and select Hide Row or Hide Column from the menu that appears. An arrow will appear over the hidden row or column. To show a row or column again, click the arrow where the row number or column letter used to be. To merge rows or columns, select the rows, columns, or cells to merge. At the top, click Format, and then Merge Cells. Then select how you want your cells to be merged. You can sort data in alphabetical and numerical order, or use filters to hide data you don't want to use. To sort data in alphabetical or numerical order, highlight the group of cells you'd like to sort. Click Data, then Sort Range, then Advanced Range Sorting Options. If your columns have titles, click Data has Header Row. Select the column you'd like to be sorted first and choose a sorting order. To add another sorting rule, click Add Another Sort column. Finally, click Sort. To sort an entire sheet, right-click the letter of the column you want to sort by. Click Sort Sheet A to Z or Sort Sheet Z to A. To sort by color, select a range of cells. Click Data, and then create a filter. To see filter options, go to the top of the range and click Filter. Choose which text or fill color to filter or sort by. Cells with the color you choose to sort by will move to the top of the range. You can sort by conditional formatting colors, but not alternating colors. To turn the filter off, click Data, then Remove Filter. Formatting options are located on the top toolbar and are pretty self-explanatory, but I would like to highlight the option to add alternating row colors or banding to your tables. To apply it to a table, highlight the table, and then from the menu, select Format, then Alternating Colors. To remove all formatting from a cell or range of cells, hit Ctrl plus / on a PC. This will save you so much time when you're wanting to remove formatting that isn't yours or that you no longer want or need. You can also pin data in the same place so that you can see it when you scroll, which is called freezing. To do this, select a row or column you want to freeze or unfreeze. At the top, click View, then Freeze. Select how many row or columns to freeze. To unfreeze, select a row or column. Then at the top, click View, then Freeze, then No Rows or No Columns. Aside from the tips mentioned earlier, using formulas and functions will help you automate your work and save a lot of time. We'll only be discussing the commonly used functions such as count, sum, and average, but Google Sheets has hundreds of built-in functions that are available to you. Let's start with the count function. The function count is used to count numbers. To use this function, click on a cell and type an equal sign, and then start typing the word count. Next, you'll see the Formula Helper window show up, which tells you about the formula syntax and how to fill it in correctly. In this case, the count function is expecting a list of numeric values. You have to select the range of cells you want to count. Then, close the function with a closing bracket. If you want to count text, the function you're looking for is count A, which works the same as a count function but with text. Next is the sum function. Follow the same process as the count function except use sum. Then finally, the average function follows the same process as the sum and the count function except use average. If you want to apply a function or formula to several cells, there is a quick and easy way to do it. Simply select the cell that already has the formula and place the cursor at the bottom right part of the selection. You would notice that the cursor changes to a plus icon. Double-click using the left mouse key. This would instantly fill the column with the same formula until the last filled cell. Let's say you want to separate your text into several columns. For example, you wanted to separate a full name into a first name and last name. We can do this using the text to columns feature. To do this, create a new column to the right of your data. Highlight the data you want to separate and click Data, then split text to columns. On the submenu that shows up, choose Space. Should we want to recombine the separated text, we would insert a column to the right of the two data you want to combine. Add this formula in the new column. This would combine the data in cell A4 with the data in cell B4 and output it in cell C4. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Google Sheets has several features which allow for collaboration on a spreadsheet. We'll be briefly discussing these features in this section. To add a comment to a cell, first, select the cell, then right-click to bring up the menu of options. Select Insert Comment, and then simply type in your comment. To tag somebody in your comment, type the plus sign and their name or email address. You'll notice a small orange triangle in the top right corner of the cell to indicate a comment. The comment will show up when you hover over the cell. If you click on the cell, it will also add orange shading to the cell background. You can reach and control all the comments in your sheet from the big comments button in the top right of the screen next to the blue share button. You can also share your Google Sheets with other people. The sharing options are found by clicking on the big blue button in the top right corner, which will open up the sharing settings. You can change the level of access of the people you share the sheet with. These options are view-only access, so that person cannot change or comment on any data. Comment-only access, so that person can add comments but still not make any changes to the data in the sheet. Editing access, so that person can make changes to the sheet, including comments. If you don't want people to change the content in a spreadsheet, you can protect it. To do this, click Data, then Protected Sheets and Ranges. A box will open on the right. Click Add a Sheet or Range, or click an existing protection to edit it. To protect a range, click Range. To protect a sheet, click Sheet. Click Set Permissions or Change Permissions and choose how you want to limit editing. Click Save or Done. To see protected cells, click View, then Protected Ranges. A striped background will appear over the cells. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching!